Sergio Studios. Extra.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Sergio Dominguez with another animation look through one of my Sergio Studios cartoons, Juan Perez 2. Now let's get started. Now, I just want to talk about a couple of shots within this cartoon, and one of the shots that I want to talk about is really just texturing. One of the things I wanted to add in this cartoon that I kind of added in the Sergio show recently and a couple other projects is texture. Instead of like a gradient or solid color, I wanted to do texture, which is I made in this case, took a sketchbook, got some color pencils, and just etched out like a texture design, scan it in, go to, here, like click on a color or a new color, right click, color, add texture, and I would bring in that picture I scanned and it will become its own texture, like this one. This one is rocket. And I did more, but the problem was that Toon Boom cannot handle so many layers and elements with textures to them, or else it will crash. And I found out during the middle of production, I made so many because it was going to have so much, like Juan's suit. Juan's suit was originally also going to be textured and stuff like that, but unfortunately realized it would crash often. And there are times when whenever I would do an animated shot, I would save it to the library, take it and put it in the animation library, or a library with a special label to it, and it would be like that. But unfortunately, when I would take something that was overly textured or a character with a lot of textures and layers, put it in the library, it would crash and everything would just go away, and if I didn't save, I would be doomed. And I ran into that kind of problems in production. I tried to prevent it by not using all these textures, but there was one character that I did put texture and I couldn't use it, but I'll explain that later in this animation look through. So what is texture? What I can remember is the ship, this cryptid planet, and the cryptid itself. But this is where we get to the problem that I had. And the problem I had with the cryptid is, okay, when I did the first shot, which is this cryptid coming out of the dirt, you see I have it in a layer. I want it to be like it was hiding behind the dirt all along, so when it was coming out, you would see the mask that I drew that's supposed to have a dirt-like texture. And there's some animations of dirt right here. Yeet, 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 yeet. Yeet, yeet. So yeah, when I started animating this character, it's like, yay, it's animating, yay. The legs were also going to be this texture, but I just stuck it to the torso because at least the torso needed to match, the surface over here, So that's as far as I got. But even then, when I wanted to do the next scene or the next shot, in this case, the shot would be the cryptid yell. I couldn't take this cryptid and save it into the library and then go to like a next shot and bring it in and animate it yelling. So I was like, oh no, this specific shot is stuck. And I need it placed like this because it's going to be staged later with, Juan on top of the thing with the cryptid yelling at it. So what do? I have this shot stuck. I didn't want to set anything up, reset anything. Everything was just fine as it is. So what could I do? So here's what I did. I saved a copy of this project. This was Juan Perez 2 with the date at the time that I was making it. Then I would give it a new name, and I would call it Cryptid Yell, which was the shot I needed to make next. And I'm going to take you to that. So the shot that I'm going to show you of the cryptid yelling, it's its own production shot project. So I'm going to take you to that now. So this is the previous shot, but saved in its own file. And I had to re-edit some frames and keyframes and become a completely different shot altogether. So I'm going to scrub and show you how it looks. It's playing like the previous scene, but a couple effects are out. And now it's like this, standing, and now it's looking back. It's yelling, here you go, and head's gone, and it's like that. Now, you see through all that there's the correct shot that you see in the final cartoon. But what is with this and this right here? Well, I just export the whole thing as it is, as you see it. And I just take it to editing and just cut out this part. Just have the next shot start off like this. Just cut it when it gets to this, and then cut it when it gets to the yelling up to here, and that's how I deal with that. And the extra animation and effects, and just cut it out. And that's how to deal with some of the shots. There was another shot where I had to animate backwards, and I want to show you that right now. All right, now this is what I was talking about. This shot I had to animate backwards because this was already animated forwards of the cryptid yelling, and it was easier this way in this case. Yeah, let me play it like this. Yeah, this very cryptid, the way it was animated was just stuck like this. So I was like, okay, let me save again its own document and just animate it backwards. And then when I'm done, I would take it to editing and reverse the shot. So that's why it looks like that in some cases. Because there were some keyframes that I want to keep, and there were some animation assets that I couldn't really move that much. It was just a lot of rearranging in some of this. So if it was backwards, like right now, so it was one of those cases where I had to animate backwards because this cryptid with all its textures, I think there were some hidden textures that I couldn't really deal with. It was an unfortunate technical mess, and it did fill up my hard drive a lot, but you know, it was still a fun cartoon ultimately. And that's really one of the two challenges. The other one was just trying to help Juan improve his audio quality across the country, but managed to help, and he was a great sport and obviously a great performance playing himself. Another thing I want to bring up about this cryptid character is that I did make a front view for this character. For the most of the episode, you only see her as, you know, this side, but there was an animation shot that I did where she had to turn around, so there would be a frame of her in the front. But that puppet unfortunately had a texture that I couldn't take and bring to this scene. So what I did was, with the scene that it was made, the front view of this puppet, I exported one frame of its position in the front and import that one frame of animation, and now it looks like this. There we go. See, this here is the front view, but it's in a photo form. This little like green is actually because when I made it and exported into a photo, I did have to put a green background, then later take it to Photoshop and key out and remove the green. So, you know, before I put it into Toon Boom, and just for one frame, take out the cryptid in this angle. So that's the best I could do with trying to animate the cryptid in a couple different ways for this whole Juan Perez cartoon thing. See? So there you go with that one. Alright, I'm going to take you now to the next shot that I want to show you. Alright, so here's this shot that I really like, storyboarded, where the cryptid got Juan using the tail, and it's swiping, and boom, boom, hit by a tree, a distant cryptid planet tree, boom. Alright, when I storyboard, I wanted it to be cartoony, but I couldn't really fully hand draw animate it, so I took one drawing that I did in pencil and marker. I think you could see it in the art look through of Juan Perez 2, and copy and pasted, I think, about one, two, three, four, 4 times, and just cycle it. It's that boiling effect. I saw that in a different tutorial, and I just applied it here in this shot and a lot of shots throughout the show and certain effects. But I did hand draw maybe like this. Yep, smear, splat, boom. So there's at least like one couple of run stamp it, boom, boom. And this was drawn in, I think digitally. Was it drawn digitally? Yes. So it's, boom. Oh. It was going to be in different shots, but when I saw it animated, I'm like, I can do it all in one shot. Yeah. That's nice. Juan, get up! Juan, get up! Ooh, I'm up. Whoa! Oh, the cryptid's got you! Run! No, it's stuck to you. Now it's going another way. Whoa! Oh, animation is fun. Now I'm going to show you the next shot that I want to talk about that was also fun to make. This shot. This is a fairly simple shot, but there's some hand-drawn animation to it, and it is the tail. The way it's like, okay, it has to be wrapped around. How do I do that? And I have to do it quick because I'm animating 2 dialogue where I go, what the? So let's break down frame by frame. Obviously, the tail going that direction was just one tail. Use the tween and keyframes. But then when it tried to wrap around, I was like, okay, it has to curve a little bit. And it's all one go. You know, I didn't want to fine tune it. I didn't have really time. So I did my best and try to rely on onion skinning and see if it still animates well. Maybe this could have been a little bit taller, but I tried. It was just quick in one go. But I knew like the tail needed to be a little bit thinner by the time it was done wrapping itself around. And it came out really well. It had to be quick, and it came out really well. Look, it let me go. It let me go. Oh, wait, what's that? No. Okay, thanks for letting me go. And I'm going to show you just one more shot, just for fun, that I wanted to talk about. This one. When I'm animating myself getting crushed flat, I thought it was going to be like flat, like a pancake. But when I animated myself getting crushed here, it was top to bottom. Like, oh, get off. Whoop. Now I'm good. Oh, should have seen that coming. Whoa, hey, ow. Out. So top to bottom. So I end up having to draw myself with sketchbook with marker and scan that in. And the mouth is actually an old mouth from when I got hurt badly in the first Juan Perez short that's reused. And since I was damaged, I also didn't detail the lip sync at all. I just let Toon Boom handle the lip sync in this one. It was a brief moment. And, you know, I'm in pain. Like, my lip sync should matter. It doesn't. So it worked to its favor. Just did want to move it a little bit. Because now I'm like a little, like, stack of pancake accordion thing. But, yeah. There you go. And there's a little waddle to it. A little bit of a waddle when I go away. When I designed it, you know, I drew it. But I also want to keep similar marks to the first Juan Perez short, and that's when I added gradient bruises and marks and blemishes to have there are callbacks throughout this to the first one, but still it's its own completely different storytelling compared to the first. And there you go. And that's all that I want to really talk about in Juan Perez 2, the animation look through of it, these shots. It was still fun. It took a while, but once I got Juan's recordings, I think I managed to put 60% of the cartoon together in about 10 days. Well, the first 3 minutes were just in a span of like 6 months, just because I just was waiting for Juan's recordings and helping him improve his audio quality. So, and I had other works to do, you know, with the show and other things. But it was still a fun cartoon, and I improved a lot, at least in my eyes, compared to the first one. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And the second one, you can see from 2010 to 2021. And ultimately, I had a good time, and Juan loved it, and I'm glad he loved it. And I hope you love too the short and the behind-the-scenes features of Juan Perez too. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I am Sergio Dominguez saying, have an animated day. Please like and subscribe.